experiencing that icky, embarrassing leakage? You know, when you go to dump and things just kind of start flowing before they should be. Of course, I'm talking about my black tank on my RV. What'd you think I was talking about? Well, that's been happening for a while. I've just been noticing that when I go to empty my black water tank and I take off the cap, it comes gushing out. Just a little bit, not all of it, but which means that one of my valves is leaking, and I think it's my black tank. So today I'm going to change my black tank valve, and I'm going to show you how I do it. It's supposed to be an easy job, and so this is going to be another, if Carolyn can do it, anybody can do it. So I'm gonna walk you through the problem I've been having, and then walk you through how I'm gonna fix it, okay? Are you ready? First thing, you need to make sure you have gloves. When I noticed that it was leaking, and you know what I'm talking about, right? You see me behind me, that's my black water tank. So most black water, sewage and wastewater tanks, the cap is just a cap like this, and they don't have, this is something I bought, but it's just a cap like this, right? So when I go to empty my black water tank and I take the cap off, knowing that it's gonna leak, no matter how much I try to put this underneath it to catch it so I don't have an embarrassing spill at the dump station, and again, we're talking like maybe a half gallon of icky, and then you hose it off, but still, you don't wanna deal with that, right? So most black tanks come with something that looks like this. Ignore the spout on it. What I did to make my life a little bit easier is I went out and I went to Camping World and I bought this one with a hose attachment. And what this does is that when I go to the dump station, I can then just unscrew this first and empty this into the hose, you know, whatever spillage has happened. I can empty this into my hose before I take the full thing off to hook up the hose to empty it. So does that make sense? So I would recommend, if you don't, even if you don't have a spill now, just go out and replace your cap with this. And in case your valves ever do start leaking, this is such an easier, cleaner way to go. It just goes right into the hose and you don't have a spill right there at the dump station like I was having. So I was able to, for a couple months, I was able to prolong fixing this just by putting this on. But I'm gonna go ahead and get it fixed today so that I don't have to worry about it anymore. So what I'm gonna change today is the valve. And this, you know, for anybody who's got a RV with a black water tank, this should look pretty familiar. It's just what goes in, you pull out the lever. This is what you pull out to release the valve to empty your tanks. And mine is a 3-inch, and I just got this at Camping World, not a lot. I also bought new seals, not knowing that it comes with new seals. So there are new seals, 2 of them, one for each side of the pipe that you're gonna be attaching this to. It also comes with new screws. And of course I went and emptied and flushed out my black tank and my gray tank this morning, because of course you want this to be empty before you get started. I actually had, from where I'm camped, it's, I don't know, 10, 15 miles away. So I went and I dumped my black tank and my gray tank. I flushed out the black tank as much as I could and then left the valve open while I drove to really make sure everything is out of there. The last thing I want is, for one thing, to make a mess all over me, but I also don't want to make a mess of sewage water all over where I'm doing this project. Couple tools. A handy dandy ratchet set, which I bought about a year ago and I haven't used yet. If you've never used a ratchet set before, like I hadn't, honestly, I don't think I'd ever used a ratchet by myself before. So it's gonna be tight in there. And so I was a little worried that I wasn't gonna be able to. I tried to do it just with a crescent wrench and just to get in there to see if I was gonna be able to get in there. Before I went and prepared for all this, I wanted to make sure I was gonna be able to get it done by myself and unscrew all the holes. You'll see it's really tight in there. The crescent wrench wasn't gonna work. And so this is just the ratchet. And then I had the adapter here that goes right on here. The little adapter, there's a little one, and then there's a longer one if you need to get in a, you know, a tighter, longer space. But since I don't have a lot of room in there, I'm attaching the short one. This is what it looks like, in case you don't know. So what is that? That's the female end, is gonna go onto the male end of this, right? Okay. And then you find the attachment that you're going to need, and I already know that I need a 1 inch, so this is a 1 inch, and this is what's going to go around the bolts in there. So I don't know what this thing is called. Ratchet. There's got to be a name for this. Anyway, so I found the 1 inch, and that just attaches the female to the male. Look at that. And then this is going to go on the screw, and I'm going to be able to ratchet it. All right, at least in theory. Let's see how that goes. Ready to get started? Let's go. And you'll see this is all rusted out in here, and I actually might end up just pulling that out to get to all the screws that I need to get to, but that's been rusted out since Alaska. I don't know if the Dalton Highway, the chemicals, the calcium chloride or whatever they put on the highway there, had a role in making that rust out, but also I think just the leaking, you know, it's kind of weird that they would make it metal, you know, since there's such a chance that this is going to leak. But this is what I'm working with. So these are the screws right here. One there, and one there, and of course there's one in the back. And it looks like I'm going to need to take this off. Oh, look at that. Okay, and then I've got the bolts on the other side. Okay, all right, so this shouldn't be too bad. Hopefully it's the black tank. I think it is. From what I was able to see gushing out, it looked like it is the black tank. And if not, the gray tank, you can see there's probably a valve way back there somewhere. But we're going to start with the gray tank, or the black one today. That one was easy. One down, 3 to go. Now the screws are just spinning in the bolts behind because the bolts are rusted on. So I need to try to hold the bolt behind still with a wrench that's hard to get in there while I ratchet it on the other side.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Really? I haven't even started yet.
If you want to go, there ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to find your own. Got to hit your heart if you want to love. Got to hit your heart.
Oh my god. Oh, finally, I got number 2. Only had to use half a can of this stuff. Okay, still working on number 3.
There ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to find your own. If you want to change, got to choose your way. If you want to change, there ain't nobody gonna do it for you. Got to find your own way.
Okay, it's been a couple hours and I give up. I totally give up. I got 2 off, and there's 2 that are just completely rusted on and stripped down, and they're a mess, and I can't get them off. And I'm frustrated and I'm done. And this is why I would rather pay somebody. I thought the only reason I'm doing this is because I thought it would make a great video, to be honest with you. Well, and part of it was like, oh, it would be really cool if I could do it myself, but nothing is ever easy. For those of you who like doing stuff like this, I guess you like tinkering. Yeah, no, not so much, not my thing. And so, well, at least I got to use my ratchet set, but yeah, so I have the parts, and I guess I'm just gonna, here, can you see? The sun is really bright. So I have the part, and I guess I'm just gonna pay somebody to do it because I'm frustrated and I don't want to do this anymore. I would literally, I've been out here like 2 hours trying to get those two things off, and that's it. It's just two stupid little bolts, and if I could get those off, then I could get this thing changed. And so it's a little frustrating that I couldn't get it done, but at least I tried. So now I probably have to go pay somebody $100 or something, or $200, I don't know, to do it. Well, sorry I wasn't able to get it changed, but you know how to do it. All you have to do is undo those 4 bolts, and if it's not, and then put this in and put the new gaskets in, and it, you know, it should be pretty easy. But I guess for now I'm just gonna have to live with the little leak that I have. It doesn't leak, you know, when I'm traveling around, so I only, you know, it's contained until I dump. Well, that was my day. Really, that took a whole day between running into town this morning and dumping my tanks and trying to get this done and all kinds of stuff. So, all right, well, on to something else.
Oh, I don't mind. There's that one. Oh yeah, that seal's destroyed there.
Yeah. I was a little afraid when I was doing it that it might not be the black tank one, but yeah, it is the black tank, isn't it?
Yeah, that one's not good either. It looks like it was installed wrong.
Yay! All right, cool.
I want to do those, fix this boot right now.
Oh, do you want the parts? Here, I'll hand them to you.
No, I got it.
Okay, and when all else fails, you pay somebody else to do it, which is what I should have done in the first place, because I really did almost kind of make it worse. It had a constant leak, but we've only been here not even a half hour, and we've already got the old one off compared to the 2 hours I spent on it the other day. And we're almost done already. He really struggled to get those 2 bolts off too, but he had a pair of those locking pliers that I didn't have, so he was able to hold the bolt side with the locking pliers while he used the ratchet on the other side. And I was laying in bed last night thinking, you know, I could go buy a Sawzall and I could probably do it myself, but I may never use a Sawzall again. And like I said, stuff like this I would rather just pay somebody to do. And it worked out. So besides the piece of tissue being stuck in it, it looks like he said the old gasket wasn't put on right, so it was never closing correctly. Cool, I'll have it done right. Another dump station fee and $150 later, and I'm done. And it only took them like 45 minutes, so super fast. I really should have just done this to begin with. $150 versus, you know, 2-3 hours, actually a whole day really by the time I went to the dump station and everything the first time. So I'm happy to have it done. I won't have any more leaks, and now I can go on with the rest of my day. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me today as I was troubleshooting and attempting to repair my black tank release valve on my own and ended up having to pay somebody to do it. If you enjoyed this video and you want to hang out and for more adventures and funs and wins and failures and all the things that go along with my life, be sure to subscribe below. If you really love this video and you want instant access to hundreds more, be sure to check out Patreon by clicking over here. See you next time, and in the meantime, be happy, be free, and be kind. Mwah.